Buenos días. Me llamo Scott Morris. Today, we'll be reviewing the material that we covered in our last class and adding some new things for you to go over. But let's go ahead and get started with our opening song. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo se sienten? Yo me siento bien. Muy bien. Now, last time we started to talk about the way that you would probably greet someone, okay? So let's see how well you remember what we did. Ready? Repitan. Okay, now you heard me say this last time. Do you know what this word means? Repitan. And it looks kind of like the word in English. It means repeat. So when I tell you repitan, I'd like you to go ahead and repeat what I say. Ahora, repitan. Buenos días. ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay? And remember that we answer this question by saying, Me llamo, and then we say our names. So, repitan, me llamo, and then you say your names. Very good. Well, right now, I'd like for everyone to get a partner, okay? Go ahead and get a partner. Could be the same partner you used last time. Could be somebody different, okay? If you need to put me on hold to get your partners, that's fine. And let's see. Whoever is taller will go first. Okay, so the taller person will go first, and I'm going to be both parts today. So first person, repitan, buenos días, ¿cómo te llamas? Okay, second person, you answer. Me llamo Scott Morris. Okay, very good. Well, I tell you what, now let's turn it around and have the shorter person in the pair go first. Okay, you ready? First person. Buenos días. ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay. Second person, you answer them. Me llamo Scott Morris. Okay. Well, you're doing really well. Right now, I'd like to ask you something. After you find out someone's name, what do you think you'll ask them? Or what do you think you'll say when you meet a friend on the street and you're walking along? What do you say? How are you? Well, of course, in Spanish, we do the same thing, right? In Spanish, we say, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Repitan, ¿Cómo estás? Okay, so if someone asks you in English, how are you doing? What would you say? What do you say when somebody says, how you doing? Okay. If you want to put me on pause and talk about this because there are a lot of different answers, you can do that. Well, in Spanish, we can answer a number of different ways also, according to how we feel. And I'm going to go ahead and go over three of those ways right now. We could say, estoy bien. Repitan, estoy bien. So if you're feeling pretty good, you can say, estoy bien. But maybe you don't feel bien. Maybe you just feel kind of eh. In that case, you would say, estoy más o menos. Repitan todos. Estoy más o menos. And más means more, and menos means less. So, estoy más o menos means I'm feeling more or less. Oh, but what if you feel really bad? Maybe you're sick or something. And somebody says, ¿Cómo estás? Then you'd say, estoy mal. Repitan, estoy mal. Now, one of the things about many of the people that I learned Spanish from is that they almost always say they're doing well. They often told me a story that a man was run over in the street and they ran out to ask him, how are you doing? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? And he said, estoy bien. So that's pretty much their standard answer. Yeah, they always put a good shine on things. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and put that all together now. Repitan. Buenos días. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Scott Morris. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. Okay. Well, right now I'd like for you to review once more with this video. Now you're going to see something different that we haven't talked about yet on this video, so pay close attention, presten atención y repitan todos.
Buenos días. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Roberto. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. ¿Cómo se llama tu papá? Se llama Jaime.
So did you see that new part, the se llama part? We're going to talk about that in a little while. Now remember that the best way to learn this really well is to practice. Practice with your classmates or with your teacher and principal, or practice with your family. As a matter of fact, I have a question from our last class. I want to see if you remember. ¿Quiénes son los miembros de tu familia? And we talked about some of the answers that you could give to this question. Let's look at those again right now. Your father, right? If I talk about my father, I will call him mi padre or mi papá in Spanish. Can you say that? Mi padre or mi papá. Very good. And my mother, in Spanish, I will call mi madre. Can you say that? Mi madre. Or I can call her mi mamá. Repitan. Right. And if I talk about both of them, my parents, I can call them mis padres. Repitan. Or I can say mis papás. Muy bien. If I want to talk about my brother, I will call him mi hermano. Repitan todos. And remember, this H doesn't make any sound at all. It's silent. Hermano. And if I was going to talk about my sister, I would call her mi hermana. Repitan. Very good. And if I was going to talk about my brothers and sisters, I would call them mis hermanos. Repitan todos. Okay, and you notice that that has an S at the end of it, mis hermanos. You're going to be noticing a lot of things like that, picking things up. So you can practice all of this with your family. They'll either think it's really cool or they'll think you're absolutely crazy. You can say to your sister, hola, hermana. Yeah, she'll get a kick out of that. Or you can greet your dad with, buenos días, papá. Yeah, try it. Right now, I'd like for you to review once more with this video. Presten atención y repitan todos. La familia. ¿Quiénes son los miembros de tu familia? Mamá, papá, mis papás, mi hermano, mi hermana, mis hermanos. Well, you know what? Last time we also talked about the vowels, remember? And we sang a song. Let's go ahead and sing it again quickly. It's real short, you should remember it. A, E, I, O, U, El burro sabe más que tú. Remember that one? The donkey knows more than you. A, E, I, O, U. Well, I tell you what, let's try something right now. I want everyone to take a piece of paper, and it can be a piece of scratch paper or whatever you have, and tear off 5 pieces. Okay? So you should have 5 pieces, and I want you to write the vowels on the different pieces of paper. Go ahead and do that now. You should get one that says A, or the letter A, E, the letter E in English, E, and that's the letter I. Remember that one? You want to write one with the O, so you have that on there. And of course, la U. Now you go ahead and write those out. If you need to put me on pause to write those down, go ahead and do it now. Now, as I say a vowel, I'm going to say the vowels in Spanish. I want you to hold up the vowel that I say. Now, teachers, I'm going to need your help to monitor the students and verify that they're holding up the letters and see how they're doing, okay? ¿Listos? Hold this one up first. La O. La O. Okay? Teachers, look around. See, are your students holding up this letter? La O. Did they get that? Okay, good. Go ahead and put that down. Try this letter. A. A. Go ahead and hold it up. Teachers, how many of your students are holding up this letter? A. A. All of them? Good. How about this one? U. U. Okay, hold it up. Teachers, look around. Are your students holding up la U? This one? Okay, good. Now these next two are kind of tricky, so listen carefully and think about it. Hold up la I. I. Okay? Teachers, look around. How many of your students have this letter, la I? Are they holding that one up? Good. How about la E? E. Okay? And that's la E. That's E. And that's not like the A from our alphabet, the A. That's E. And it's a very short sound. Now you can practice this in your classrooms too. And one of the easy things about Spanish is that the sound of the letters don't change. So if you learn the sounds of a letter, you can read anything in Spanish. Even if you don't know what it says, you can sound it out and read the word. Now, one of the family members that we talked about was a woman. She's not your sister. She's your... I tell you what, here's the word in Spanish without the vowels. You see it here? M blank, M blank with an accent. Okay? You know who she is? Say the word and listen to the sound of the vowel. Mama. Remember what it looked like when we wrote it out? Okay, what letter is it in Spanish? Ah. Mama. And then the accent, right down here, it tells you to stress or say that with more emphasis on that syllable. Mama. How about the word como? What vowel sound do you hear there? Como. La O. O. How about the word te? E. Do you hear that? Te. How about in the word llamas? Llamas. Yeah. La A. Llamas. Hey, now we've done all the words to a question that we started our Spanish lessons with. ¿Cómo te llamas? To which we answered, Me llamo Scott Morris. And that's fine for asking what your name is, but what if you want to know your mother's name, somebody's mother's name, or their brother's name, or sister? It's pretty much the same with just a few changes. Look at this one. ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá? Repitan todos. ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá? Okay. I tell you what, let's look at these two again, okay? ¿Cómo te llamas? You see that? It has the t. Te llamas. Okay? How about this one? ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá? Do you see the difference? Huh? Go ahead and think about it. Talk about it in your classroom. In this part here, it says se llama. Okay? Se llama. Well, that's what we use to answer the question. When someone says, ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá? You answer, se llama, and then you say their name. Repitan todos, se llama. So, if you ask me, ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá? If you said that to me, I would answer you by saying, se llama Elba. Because that's my mother's name, Elba. Se llama Elba. Now I'm going to ask all of you students who are watching, okay, and I want you to answer. ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá? ¿Cómo se llama tu mamá? And now you answer me. Teachers, did everyone answer by saying, se llama, and then their mother's name? Did they get that right? Muy bien. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and look now at our activity sheet for today's lesson. It's called Dibuja a tu familia. And last time we had the one that said dibújate, that was draw yourself. Well, dibuja a tu familia means draw your family. And now up here, where it says nombre, I went ahead and looked in the Spanish name section of the Learning Partner Guidelines, and I found out that my first name, Robert, in Spanish is Roberto. So I'm going to choose a Spanish name, and my Spanish name is Roberto. You guys go ahead and choose one for yourselves that you can use when we're studying Spanish. So go ahead and draw your family's picture in there, and then come down here and answer these questions. Me llamo, and remember, I'm going to write my name, me llamo Roberto. Well, now here's a new one, mi abuela. See if you can find out what that means and fill in that. And then fill in each of these for the different people in your family. I went ahead and did mine, and let me share it with you. Yeah, that's my family, a happy-looking crew standing there in the sunshine. And I went ahead and filled in my sentences at the bottom. Me llamo Roberto. Mi abuela se llama Gertrude. Mi abuelo. Here you go, we know this one. Mi mamá se llama Elva. And if you look at that last one, you can see mi hermano se llama David. You remember hermano? Well, mi hermano se llama David. And that'll give you a chance to go over the phrases that we were practicing and talking about today. Well, that's about all we have time for today. We reviewed the questions and family members that we learned in the first lesson, and we added a new question and some answers to inquire about how someone is doing. Next class, I'm sure we'll cover all of the things that we've been doing up to now, and then we'll talk about some of the other family relationships. So start to think now about what some of those other relationships are that we haven't spoken about yet. Well, let's end today's lesson by singing the same song that we sang last time called Cielito Lindo. And if you can sing with me, go ahead and do so. De la Sierra Morena, cielito lindo, vienen bajando un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo de contrabando. Sing with me now. Ay, 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 ay. Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Well, keep practicing your Spanish, and until next class, adios.